ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. All praise is due to Allah Azza wa Jal. He is the most merciful, most beneficent, and we send peace and blessings to the last messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Firstly, Eid Mubarak for everyone and for you all, inshallah. And I hope you all enjoyed, inshallah, the last Eid with the family. Inshallah, Sydney. Wallahi, I love it. I love the Eid in Sydney. I believe it's better than Cairo. Yani, you've got everything. You've got the Eid show, Eid festivals, and there's lots of fun for the kids, for the families, for everyone, inshallah. Ramadan, 30 days. Yeah, last Ramadan was 30 days, alhamdulillah. Lots of things happened in Ramadan. For me, it was one of the best, alhamdulillah. It's my second time in my whole life to do a full i'tikaf. I'tikaf is sunnah from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and i'tikaf is to go to the masjid and stay for the last 10 days or 10 nights of Ramadan. Stay completely in the masjid. So you sleep, you eat, you do everything in the masjid. You never go outside for anything. You might speak to your wife over the phone, she might come and visit you, but it's all masjid and that's it. So this was my second time in 40 years, alhamdulillah, and it was one of the best, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. I've done it at Punchbowl Mosque. Lots of, mashallah, good brothers were there. Ahmed came and visited me, jazakallah khair. It was very nice, mashallah. So Ramadan was very special, alhamdulillah, for me. What about you guys? Anyone has anything from last Ramadan that he wants to share with us? Me?
Alhamdulillah, you know what? That night was a beautiful night. MashaAllah. It was a beautiful night. One of my best nights of my life.
Ahmed came and we were, so at the Mu'takifin, we were like roughly 35 to 40 brothers. And at that time, we were just sitting down and making dua, supplications. And it was like a round one, like when I finish after 5-10 minutes, if I finish everything that I know I can ask Allah, then the brother who's sitting on my right hand side will start to make dua, or the brother that's in front of me. And subhanAllah, I raised up my head towards the end, and then I saw Ahmed's beautiful face in front of me in the masjid. It was very nice. Any things that you guys want to share? The fasting, it's a unique experience. Yani 12 hours of no food and drink during the day of Ramadan. Anything? Yeah, please.
This year was the best Ramadan for me. It's only my second, I think. Much better. The days that I did fast, actually started to pray during the day at work, found a place to do it, and much easier this Ramadan. But now that it's finished, I feel the difference.
You feel the difference?
Yeah, I feel a big difference between not being in Ramadan and being back to normal and starting to slip into the normal old routines that I don't want to do. So it's hard, I guess, to keep up the motivation, to keep up the reminder, because something feels different. I don't know what it is, but something feels different, even though you know that you could keep it up the whole year.
Subhanallah. I was speaking to my mate, Pratt, on my way to the Paris about this problem, the balance, finding the balance after Ramadan. So I'm struggling now because back to work and kids and family and wife and everything that you have to do. And subhanAllah, you feel like, yeah, there's a huge difference between Ahmed during the last 10 days. So imagine you are doing full i'tikaf, not even going to work. And then suddenly you're struggling with the Quran to read every day, you're struggling with the salah in the masjid. You were praying the 5 prayers in the masjid in the first line, each and every salah, and then suddenly you're back to normal life. And then it's really hard, but we have to work hard until we find our balance, inshallah. And dua, make lots of dua and supplications to Allah Azza wa Jal that He keeps you steadfast on His path. Anything else that anyone would like to share with us?
I think I have a negative.
Yeah, please. Please.
This is going to sound really bad, but I think Ramadan taught me as a person what I need to work on, because I had a lot of things that were still happening, and I was like, wow, the shaitan hasn't left yet. I thought it's Ramadan, he's meant to leave, and then I realized that was my nafs, not the shaitan. So I think Ramadan made me realize the things that I need to work on as a person and how I can manage it and fix it.
Yep. The habits and the nafs. And subhanAllah, in Surah Al-Shams, we're going to discuss the nafs, our soul, and the good and the bad that we have, and the difference between the nafs and the shaitan. What's the main difference between what comes from the shaitan? How to differentiate between if you do something bad, or you start to think about something bad and you head towards doing something bad, or you have the intention of doing something bad, how would you know that it's your nafs or the shaitan? We spoke about it before. Does anyone remember the difference between what comes from the nafs and what comes from the shaitan? The shaitan doesn't know anything about what Allah Azza wa Jal has put inside you. So Allah Azza wa Jal has given you, has put inside you the good and the bad. أَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. And then all you have to do is cleanse yourself and do the right thing. Now the nafs has got the good and bad and know exactly what's good and what's bad. So everyone, Muslim, Christian, doesn't believe, if you ask him, killing him, it's bad, something bad. His nafs, his own soul, would reach the conclusion that killing, cheating, lying, you know what I mean, they're all bad things that you shouldn't do. Now the nafs usually focus on one or two things, hardly one or two things. By means, my nafs is weak when it comes to money, when it comes to women, let's say. So I, as Ahmed, when it comes to money, let's give an example, it's hard for me to resist the temptation to get it. So I might steal, I might cheat, I might do anything in order to get more money, and I won't give. So it's all about me, it's all about having this money and spending the money on myself. And it's hard, that's the nafs. And also it might be women, maybe, something that you can't resist, you can't stop, and you're still doing the wrong thing. But when it comes to the shaitan is just scattered wrong thoughts and bad thoughts that he gives to you. And it's either that you follow or you don't follow. So he's just trying each and every door of bad that he can open for you. He doesn't know exactly what's the door that can take you away from the path of Allah Azza wa Jal. So he's just trying to give you scattered bad thoughts in your head or in your qalb, in your heart, and he's doing his best to open just as many doors as you can. By the way, wallahi, the wise ones and the I'd say the successful ones are the ones who would know their points of weakness. Like at work, if you are smart enough, you would know that, okay, you're good, your people skills is good, but you're not organized. You are good in that, but you're bad in that. You are strong in this, but you are weak in that. And when it comes to the nafs, it's exactly the same. You can easily, if your eyes are open to, if you do that reflection, if you reflect on yourself and you take yourself outside of the box of life and running and behind money, wife, kids, and everything that you do, if just step aside for a while, that's an i'tikaf, by the way. And that's the good thing about the i'tikaf. The i'tikaf is not only that we 24 hours of worshipping Allah and reciting the Quran and making dua. It was more about the reflection. So in that time, I'm not attached to anything in the world. No emails. I'm not checking my emails. I'm not taking any calls from the pharmacy. I'm not taking any call from even my wife. She calls me hardly every 2 or 3 days. The same with my mom. So I was completely disconnected from the life. And it was an opportunity for me to reflect on myself. And then once you reflect on yourself, and it's easy to do that, you will start to see the good and the bad. And that's when you have a plan, inshallah, to work on the bad and fix yourself. Anyway, it's not a negative, yes, Sarah. It's a good one. It's a positive one, inshallah. Anything else that you'd like to share with us? Yes, please.
This was my first Ramadan.
Wow.
I reverted on the 3rd of March this year. But unfortunately, just before Ramadan, I had been discharged from hospital and I wasn't able to water fast. So I abstained from food, but I couldn't abstain from water. But even though I couldn't do that, it just part of like the community taking part in something together was really fulfilling for me. So.
Well done for fasting the whole month.
Jazakallah.
So you've been Muslim for exactly 100 days.
100 days.
Me?
Yeah.
Have I?
Yeah.
That's quick maths.
Yeah.
I studied maths and I didn't do that.
What about the more engagement with the community?
Yeah, I feel like every night there was an iftar, which was awesome.
Okay, lovely. That's
Everyone
nice.
was so
Good.
worried about everyone.
What about going to the masjid for the Taraweeh? And
Yeah.
did we start to go to the masjid?
You know, that
How
was
do you find? Yep.
That was beautiful actually on with the class especially, especially with the brothers as well. I reckon that was, I don't know, that like it made you feel like something, you know, into someone, and it made you like concentrate, like I don't know, it was just an amazing feeling, like when you walked into that masjid, for example, the mosque, like you just felt your whole heart and everything you ever felt that whole day gone, like disappeared. You know what I mean? And like, you know what, like, me and Alif, I felt bad for him, so I fell asleep with him in the mosque, snoring my head off.
I did not sleep.
I'm laying there, and subhanAllah, I was not tired when I walked in there, but subhanAllah, I didn't want to get up. I just wanted to sleep there. I didn't want to get up. But subhanAllah, that was like a small, I know it was a bit funny the way I explained it, but it was the most beautiful feeling in the world.
I woke you up and went to Panjuma.
Yeah, and then we went to your mosque. And I fell asleep in the car.
It's nice. It's good. It's good. Because definitely, as a Muslim, it's really important that you become part of the Muslim community. And there's the goods and bads in everything. So Allah Azza wa Jal says in Surah Al-Kahf, وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ, and be patient with those who call for the name of Allah Azza wa Jal. It's not easy. There's goods and bads in engaging in the community, but inshallah the goods are more than the bads. And it's really important that you start to go to the masjid, the local masjid, at least once a day, once every week, besides Salat al-Jum'ah. It's really important that you go and visit your local masjid, besides coming to this daris every Thursday or every Tuesday with Ahmed. And Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu udkhulu fi as-silmi kaffa, or you who believe, enter into Islam completely and perfectly. And kaffa also has the other meaning of enter into Islam together. Like it needs a jama'ah, it needs a group. You can't do it on your own. You need other brothers and sisters to remind you of Allah Azza wa Jal. And you will definitely find these brothers and sisters that remind you about Allah Azza wa Jal in the masjid. The ones who would remind you of being good to your partner, the ones who would remind you about being good to your parents, the ones who would remind you about working hard and doing what you have to do, about looking after raising your kids and looking after your kids. You will definitely find them in the masjid. So you will benefit a lot from going to the masjid and having close ties with your local masjid community. It's really, wallah, for me, after Salat al-Isha, let's say, when I go out and then shake hands with the Hajj Muhammad and shake hands with Ali and Hussein, you know, it's something, subhanAllah, that without doing anything, just shaking hands and smiling to your brothers in Islam, wallahi, draw you closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. Amir, you wanted to say something?
I was going to say something. I felt a little bit more guided during during Ramadan. I felt like I could start to understand things a little bit better. You know, like there was a few things which I questioned before, and then during Ramadan I felt like it just became a little bit more clear to me. Yeah, I don't know if that's just coincidence, but
Alhamdulillah.
yeah,
That's, we call it the barakah, blessings of
Yeah.
Ramadan.
inshallah.
Alhamdulillah. And alhamdulillah, now 40 days, no coffee.
So you're quitting coffee, eh?
Yes, alhamdulillah, 40 days. The first week, it was very hard. The second, the same, alhamdulillah. And the first week after Ramadan, by the way, not only during Ramadan. So the first 2 weeks in Ramadan, it was really hard. And then, alhamdulillah, i'tikaf, it was okay. And then when I came back outside after Ramadan, and when you stop fasting and everyone at work is drinking coffee, and I just want to go back to the habit of, but alhamdulillah, up till today, alhamdulillah.
Just so there's no confusion, coffee is halal.
Yeah, it's halal. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, it's just that I stopped coffee because I felt like, you know, when you're dependent on something, you shouldn't be dependent on anything. I just felt that I'm really dependent. There's some form of addiction to the coffee, and that's why I made the decision to stop. Anyway, today, inshallah, we're going to continue.